Hi friends, welcome to math. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm hoping that this works well, that you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm going to project a sheet onto our active board, and I have my computer set up to record it. I hope that you can see it. I hope it's clear for you to see. So in your distance learning packet, you have a sheet. At the top it says, I believe, homework 7-1. So you're going to do that sheet. It's on our new unit on picture graphs, or our unit's called graphing, but we're starting with picture graphs. And the first chapter is on, again, picture graphs. And so you have the first assignment in your packet that you will do. And I'm actually going to walk you through the next assignment because normally we would take this sheet home for homework, but we won't do that this time. We have a short week, so I'm only going to give you one homework this week. So this would be a good opportunity for us to use our Tuesday homework for our chat today. So hopefully this makes sense. I'm going to turn my computer now so you can see the active board, and then I'm going to talk you through, and I'll try to poke my head in, but I can't do both at the same time. I'll try anyway. All right, so here is, I guess you can see me a little bit. Here is our sheet. Let me move this up. Let's see. Huh. That's not working as well as I'd hoped. I'm gonna move it this way. Okay, so I might not be able to be in the picture very much. I'll do my best. Okay, so do your best to listen along if you can't see this very well. What we're going to do is we're going to compare two things. In this case, we're going to compare the hats and the horns, okay? So we're going to put them into this grid so that we can eventually answer these questions, okay? So this is the beginning of graphing. It's a picture graph because we're using pictures to show what our items are. All right, so we have hats on the left-hand side, and you can see there are two birthday hats pictured. And then underneath that, we have horns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horns. So what I like to do, get my pen, I like to do is I like to count the pictures and put the number next to it. So let's start with that. So we already decided there were two hats and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horns. Okay, now I have my numbers right there so I can answer my questions. Number one, there are blank more, fewer hats than horns. So we have to decide there are which one has more, hats or horns. Well, I can see that horns is the larger number, 2 compared to 6. So there are blank more or fewer hats than horns. Now, we have to look and see. They're asking about the hats. So are there more hats than horns or fewer hats than horns? There's only 2 hats, so there's fewer hats than horns. So I'm going to circle the word fewer. And now we have to decide by how many. So if I pair up this hat and this horn, and this hat and this horn, and circle what I have left over for my horns, that will be my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, fewer hats than horns. Okay? You could also turn it around and say there are 4 more horns than hats. But based on this question, they want us to know hats first, okay? So there are 4 fewer hats than horns. Okay, go to the next one. There are blank more or fewer horns than hats. We already kind of talked about that, didn't we? Horns than hats. So now we know there are, we're going to reverse it. So instead of 4 fewer, 4 more horns than hats. 4 more horns than hats. Okay, so this is one example of a picture graph. We're graphing data or information using pictures, and of course we have the labels as well. Okay, let's go to the next one. You see that okay? All right, we have Mina has some fish we can see, and Emily has some fish we can see. All right, so what I like to do again first is I like to count up and have those numbers ready to go. So Mina has 1, 2, 3, 4 fish. And Emily has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fish. Now we can answer the questions, okay? Mina has blank, so we need to figure out the number, more or fewer goldfish than Emily. So Mina has more or fewer goldfish than Emily. Let's go ahead and pair them off again like last time. Pair, 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 pair. Okay, and then we have this many left over, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Mina has, we have to pick the number that's left over, regardless of who we're talking about here. So Mina has 3. Does she have more or fewer goldfish than Emily? Mina has 3 fewer, because she has 4 and Mina has 7. So 3 fewer. So that must mean that Emily has 3 more. Okay? It has to be the opposite. So if Mina has 3 less, then Emily has 3 more goldfish than Mina. All right, is this starting to make sense? Let's look at our last example. Okay, now it looks like we have bells in our picture graph. Dan has some bells and Tani has some bells. Let's count up Dan's bells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bells. And Tani has 1, 2, 3 bells. Okay. Next up, let's read our questions. Dan has blank, more or fewer bells than Tani. Well, we can see he has more because he has 8 and she has 3. So we can circle more right away. But now we need to pair off the bells in order to see how many more he has. So pair, 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 and circle what's left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Dan has 5 more bells than Tani. And if you flip it around, Tani has, again, we're going to use that same number. Doesn't matter if it's more or fewer. Their difference is 5. So Tani has 5 fewer bells than Dan. Okay, friends. I hope that this makes sense. I hope that you can see it okay. I know this is day 1 of our unit, so this is new stuff for you, but we will review this. So we will talk about the sheet again on Tuesday because you don't have school on Monday this week. So we'll talk about it quickly on Tuesday, make sure everybody understands, and then we'll move forward onto the next lesson. Okay, so this is our graphing lesson. You do have, besides my video that you're watching right now, I put that 7-1 homework, or there wasn't homework, it was a 7-1 activity in your packet. So that's the math work that you'll do today that will go along with our lesson. All right, do your best. You're doing great. We only have one more distance learning day after today, so you guys are almost there. Have a great weekend, a long weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.